Hey everyone, Rich from Rich TCG. Hey everyone, Rich from Rich TCG Bets here. Hope you all are having a great day. It's been 3 weeks since the Curator's collection, aka the Princess box, aka the Heron's box, has come out. So I wanted to take a look at how it's performing. We obviously know all the stories and the craziness and hype of when it came out that happened at the Disney parks in the UK, US. I'm not going to really talk about that in this video, but I want to focus on where the market price is for these things and whether it's actually time to buy this or not. So let's go ahead and take a look at TCG Player and dive right into the numbers. So right here we have the box on TCG Player going for $405 lowest listed. Market price is basically around there at $397. If we take a look at the 1 month chart, that'll give us a better view. We saw these on average going for $500 on TCG Player. If we scroll all the way back to the release date, you'll see prices are actually up there, with the first one being at 611. That sucks for that person. And then very, very, very quickly dropping down there to around $400 average over the last few weeks. I think this is actually a pretty good price. I think it's hard to say whether this price would ever go down or not. Really, the only thing that'll make it go down is if they do another reprint of it or they announce that it's going to be at other locations. But people waited a while for these boxes. No one's going to want to sell them for $200 or very little what they got, because so many people drove long distances, flew in to get them, camped out 8 to 10 hours to get them, that we're just not really going to see these prices go down. And at the end of the day, it's a really pretty box. The cards are really cool. We'll go through the cards and see how they're doing in just a moment. But market price for 400, I don't see this really changing too much, maybe down to 350. You could maybe get it on Facebook Marketplace or something a little bit cheaper or somewhere locally, but I would expect that these boxes stay around that price for quite a bit of time, unless we hear some changes. So let's take a look at the cards. We're going to go to the highest value card here, and by far and away, it's the Ariel. And I knew that this one would be one of the more popular ones. I'm shocked, honestly, that it is the number one card, but it's a Singer card, so I believe it's from the first chapter. I think it got reprinted and fabled, so I think technically it's playable, but don't correct me on that. This one lowest listed is going for about $145 right now, but the market price is $158, and we honestly haven't seen too many sales. So 731 is the last one. That's a week ago. So obviously that's why we're seeing these cards have a lot of volatile. You'll see with other cards, it's just they're not selling a lot. A lot of people are keeping them sealed. A lot of people that have opened them are submitting them to grading, and so there's really not too many on the market. So you can see out of like the thousands of boxes that they have, only 6 are currently on the market right now, and they're not really selling. But if you want to get your hand on one of these, the Ariel one is going for 145, and I do think this is probably the best artwork. Like you see Ariel under the sea depicted really well, all the colors of the ocean. It's a really pretty card. At number 2, what I probably thought was going to be number 1 is the Elsa card, but after seeing the Ariel, there's not really too much going on in this card other than Anna in the background, which I think it would have looked better if there was like an ice castle in the background. No offense to Anna, but it's a trusted sister, and the two sisters have each other in the card, and I get the artwork, but this one's going for 128 is the lowest listed. Market price is 102. Similarly, we have 8 listings, and we're not seeing a ton of sales, but we are seeing sales closer to $100. So that's why things aren't really selling, because people are noticing that there's not many in the market and are trying to influence the market, but no one is currently biting at the moment. But the Elsa is number 2. At number 3, we have the Jasmine card. This one, honestly, actually has, I think, the lowest asking price, but the market price is $89. Again, 13 listings, not a lot of sales. It's a common theme we're going to see around these cards at the end of the day. Number 4, we have Tinkerbell. I think this is the coolest one. I love seeing the giant fairy not as menacing as we've seen it in a ton of other artworks. It's this cuter version of it talking to the other mermaids there in Neverland. Lowest listed is about $89, so slightly above market price. Again, 6 listings. This one we actually have seen quite a lot of sales on, and so up until this one, the previous 3 ones hadn't had any sales in the month of August, and today is August 7th. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 sales, and the price is going up. So you could have gotten this card for like $72, and now it's going for about 90. And you can see the lowest listed is around that price too. So it seems like we are getting closer to an $85, $90 market price for this card. But the reason I think that this one is going for quite a, or is at least having way more sales, is that this card is very playable. It's if you're playing a steel blue deck, you more than likely have this card in there. It does really well anytime it comes into play. It does 1 damage to every character, and then if you banish a character, you can do 2 additional damage to another character. So a pretty good board wipe to try to mediate later in the game your blue steel deck, or just really any other steel deck that you're running, but typically it's blue steel. Honestly, this probably might be my favorite card outside of the Ariel of this collection. And then we have Mulan right here. This one is lowest listed $83 and market price is about $81. And so this one's actually pretty consistent. We do have 11 listings, and this one actually did have a sale yesterday. But again, we've had 3 sales in the last 3 weeks. So not a ton of volume overall on TCG Player. And then the last one we have going is Anna. I thought Mulan would be the lowest one, but this one is the lowest one technically, but you can see that lowest listed is significantly higher than that. And again, you have a ton of sales. And so it's people just trying to manipulate the market. We're seeing sales consistently between $70 and $80. That's where the market price should be. So 73 is a pretty good market price. It's just people are trying to capitalize that there are only 6 listings. And if you want this card on TCG Player, you're going to have to pay $113 for it. So how does this compare to the previous box? If we take a look right here, the D23 collection box, this is the only other box that we have available. Funny enough, I believe next week we'll have a new D23 version of this, very similar to this version of that. But you can see market price right here is $600, but lowest listed is with shipping basically $5. And so that's from someone with 0% 51 sales. So yeah, $500 right here is where we are seeing this one. And so it's about $100 more if we go back. Yeah, $400 to $500. I like the new one better, but this one does have Mickey in it. And so that's naturally going to have a higher value. It has a bunch of PSA 10s. We know that this set was printed really well as far as the print quality. It was like an 80% gem rate, so if you submitted it, you were more than likely to get a full set of PSA 10s, where for the Curator's collection, turnaround times are more than a month at PSA right now. We haven't seen any hit the market. So if we see a lot hit the market as far as just PSA 10s, we have an 80% gem rate again. I do expect that box to go up because I think that people will be more inclined to buy them, open them, send them off the PSA immediately to try to make a lot of money, because you've got, like, again, the Ariel, the Anna card are going to be very popular cards. If they're going for $100+ raw, a PSA 10 version of them is probably going to be $300, $400, $500, depending on how easy it is to get a PSA 10 of that card. The other thing that's funny to point out is if you were to buy every single card, let me pull up my note really quick. Yeah, the other thing to call out is if you were to buy every single one of these cards right now on TCG Player lowest listed, you would pay $630. If you're going just off market price, it's $584, and the box itself is $405. So if you want this right now, the obvious play is to buy the box. You save $200 just on buying raw singles alone on TCG Player just by buying the box. You could buy this box and then an additional 1 to 2 of those princess cards for the same exact money of buying the cards individually. So It's going to be interesting to see, do we see the cards dip to kind of align with the box, or do we see the box start to shoot up in prices to align with the prices of the cards? I think we're going to see the former. I think we're going to see these cards drop quite a bit. But again, it's all going to depend on the quality of the PSA 10 cards. If we see a ton of PSA 10s coming through in the next few weeks, what do I think? That's actually a really good question. If we see a ton of PSA 10s, I think this box will come closer to $500 because people are going to see it more as a grading play. And if we don't see a ton of PSA 10s, I think people are going to be more inclined to just kind of keep it sealed. The other thing with this box is there's no saran wrap or like plastic wrap or anything around it. So you can't really quote unquote keep it sealed as you could with the D23 box. And so either way, I love the box. I'm more of a sealed person than I am a singles person, especially on the graded side. I don't really like graded cards. I have nowhere to put them. I don't like the plastic around them. I like them in my binder. But if I were to buy one of these now, I would most definitely buy a box. I think this would be a great hold in the future. These cards look stunning. They're very popular. Princesses, I mean, the Princess IP, I've talked about it a lot on the channel, how that is one of the top grossing IPs outside of Mickey the Mouse. I think it's number 2, maybe number 3 behind Winnie the Pooh, but it is one of the most popular Disney IPs. So if you want this, go ahead and buy the box. If you're waiting for PSA 10 singles, I too am curious on how that's going to come. I would expect some in the next probably 2 weeks to start hitting eBay, and we'll see where the market takes it from there. But like I mentioned in the previous video, I'm holding off for the first chapter. Like if I'm going to spend $400, I'm going to probably buy a first chapter booster box. That's where my thinking is now, but I will be hopping on a cruise in a few days and heading to Disney World. So spending money right now is not on my radar, but that's all I got for you. Let me know if you have any of these boxes, what your thoughts are on this product, and I'll see you all in the next video. Take care.